Very good morning to all of you. Welcome to the class. Not many have joined today. It's raining that because of that. Weather is good, so maximum are sleeping. We'll wait for 2 minutes. Let others also join. And after that, we'll start with the class. Pratham Srivastav, please join with your video on. Advait, Sodhya, Aradhya, Sana, kindly join the class with your camera on. So let's begin with the class. Now many have joined, but still there are many to join. Okay, in the last class we were discussing about, we have started with the chapter and we were discussing about the role of chemistry in our lives. Okay, in this chapter you are learning about the various things that move on around us, and in almost everything there is involvement of chemistry, there is application of chemistry. Okay, and we have discussed about manufacturing, chemistry and food. Okay, we have discussed about agriculture, how the farmers sow the seed, how they add fertilizers to the soil so that the soil becomes fertile, it becomes good for the plants for better growth, and when there will be better growth there will be better yield of the crop. Okay, and we have also discussed about pesticides. Pesticides are the substances which are added, which are sprayed onto the crops and also in the soil so that the insects or pests remain away from the crop, the growing plant. Okay, so we have discussed about fungicides. Fungicides are the chemicals which kills the fungi. Herbicides are the chemicals which are added to the soil so that there is no growth of unwanted weeds, unwanted plants. Only the particular crop that is grown into the soil that will grow. And if what is the reason to add herbicides? The reason is, if a particular crop which is growing in a field, with that other weeds are also growing, it will hamper the growth of the particular crop which is grown in the field. How? Because the nutrition that is to be taken from the soil by a particular plant will be distributed among the unwanted weeds also. Okay, then there won't be proper growth. Okay, this is the reason herbicides are required. This can be a reasoning question. Okay, then we have discussed about insecticides. Insecticides are the chemicals which are helping to kill the insects, and collectively we call these insecticides herbicides and fungicides, and also rodenticides. Rodenticides are the chemicals which kills the rodents. Rodents are the rats and mice, okay, that destroy the crops. Okay, as it grows, even the plants get destroyed because of them. Okay, so to keep them away, the rodenticides are required, and these are collectively called as pesticides. Okay, and I have also told you that pesticides are used by the farmers, but it is not that it can be used in any amount as much you want. It can be used, if it's nothing like that. It is to be used in adequate amount. It is to be used judiciously. Otherwise, what will happen? The amount of pesticides will remain in the plant. Maybe it will remain in the fruit, in the crop which is grown, and directly or indirectly it will be reaching us. Okay, and definitely if it is coming to us, it will definitely enter into our body, and that is going to harm our body. Okay, this is why it should be used in appropriate amount or adequate amount, and also it should be taken care that the things we buy from the market, whether it is the rice or wheat or pulses, whatever is bought from the market, it should be washed properly before usage. At least it should be soaked for 10 to 15 minutes, and then after only it should be cooked. And that water in which it was the substance is soaked, that water should be thrown, so that if some amount of any of the chemical is remaining in the crop, can be removed. All right, now let's start with the next part of the chapter. The next topic that we have to deal with in the role of chemistry in our lives is food processing. Now, what do you understand by food processing? Anybody knows? Any idea about it? Okay, Shreyanshi.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Food processing means the process of making food.
Process of making food. Very good. Nalini Mishra. As it is now that it is a process of making food. Which type of food may be made in food processing? Nalini.
Ma'am, the food, that packaged food we eat, that type of food that we can, how we can keep it preserved, and what flavors we add in them, if it's good. So that is the food processing.
Very good. So the food, the process that turns the raw food, the raw content of either plant or animal material into products that can be eaten or which can be used. There are a variety of substances that we are using in our day-to-day life that is prepared through food processing. Okay, after the explanation part, I'll show you a video from YouTube where you may know how the different things which we get in the market. Some examples I will tell you right now, and that is how kurkure is made, how the things are collected, how it is processed, and then it is packed, and then it is available in the market. The ice cream which you like the most, how all these things are prepared. Okay, this is all from the food processing unit. Okay, so that video I'll show you after the explanation is done. So first of all, let us finish with the explanation part. And what is food processing? You have now understood. It is the process where the plant or the animal material can turn into a product which can be eaten or used up. Okay, these food items are added with different substances. It's not that we are directly just getting the plant material or animal material. Here you can see in your book, it is very clearly mentioned that to prepare such food, the material is made to go through a series of physical as well as chemical treatments. That means there will be certain chemicals which will be added on. Now the question is why it undergoes so many physical and chemical processes. Now if I take the example of making of chips, simple potato chips. When mother is making it at home, you might have observed it, she makes it before Holi, I think. Isn't it? Chips is made, potato chips. So you might have ever, if you have ever observed, you might have seen that it is boiled. After it is boiled, it is left for drying, and then it is cut into pieces. Again, it is left for drying. And when it is completely dried, maybe certain things are added to it to give flavor to it. And it is also fried before it is eaten up. So this is the simple method how the chips is made at home. Now you see here, chemicals are not added when the chips is made at home. But if I talk about the Lay's pack which you get in the market, Uncle chips, potato chips, all these chips which are available in the market, does it go the same process which is applied at home? No. We cannot keep the chips which is made at home for longer time. Isn't it? I think within a month it gets over. But if we see the chips which are available in the market, it can be kept for around 6 months without getting destroyed. But if you see the one which is made at home, after a month, it starts spoiling. The microorganisms will attack it. So you see, the processed food, it undergoes so many physical as well as chemical treatments. After it is undergoing such chemical and physical treatments, the physical and chemical treatment which it undergoes, we are not discussing about it. You just need to know that it is undergoing so many processes. Okay, when we are discussing in detail about it in higher class, then you will be able to understand it. Okay, well, when I'll show you the video, then maybe few things you may undergo, what all things it undergoes. Okay, so after it is undergoing the physical and chemical treatments, some additives are added. Now, what are additives? Additives are the chemicals which are used for various purposes. Okay, flavoring agents and the preservatives. The different flavors which you get in the market. If I just take the simple example of Kurkure, previously it was only the orange pack which was available in the market. Now if you go, there are so many colors available. Yes, I think green is there, yellow is there, and one is orange, which I remember. But I think 4 or 5 flavors are available in the market. So what is this flavor? That flavor which is added is additive. The flavoring agent which is added to the food content is the additive. Okay, and also the preservatives are added. What are preservatives? From the word itself, it is clear that something which helps to keep the things for longer time, to preserve the things. But these preservatives, these chemicals also have a duration. Up to that limit only it works. All right, you might have noticed on the packed food, the packaged food items, on the back side where the composition and everything is mentioned, there the date of manufacturing is mentioned, and with that it is also mentioned that up to 3 months or up to 6 months from the date of manufacturing it can be used. That means the lifetime of that preservative to work on the substance which is packed is only that duration. Maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe 9 months, maybe 12 months, maybe 18 months, maybe sometimes 3 years. For different substances, for different preservatives, the duration is different. Okay, and also I'll tell you that whenever you are buying things from the market, before taking it, check the date of manufacture and the date of expiry. Sometimes the shops are closed for so many days, and when we go to get the chips packet, we never check what is the rate of manufacturing. Maybe sometime we have taken the expiry packet. It happened with me one time. I went to take a pack of biscuit. I took it. That time I did not check the date of expiry. But at home when I have opened it, I saw that something was different inside. It was not looking so fresh. So then I checked the date of manufacture. And the duration for that for expiry was only 3 months, and it got over. So you see, many times we don't feel like, maybe say that, okay, it's not looking fresh, maybe some reason may be there, and we eat it. Sometimes it happens with the chocolates also. You might have noticed in case of dairy milk. Sometimes when you eat it, it looks very fresh. And sometimes when we take it, it is broken. Have you ever observed that? Not noticed. When it's chocolate, it's straight away, the pack is open and it is into the mouth. Isn't it? We don't see how it looks like. It's just that it is chocolate, so it should be in the mouth. But let me tell you that in making of all these packed food items, there is addition of chemicals. So kindly do see the date of manufacture and expiry. Okay, well, that is a part away from the content that we were discussing. The thing is, we have in the food processing units, after the substance undergoes various physical and chemical treatments, it is added on with the food additives. Food additives are of two types, the flavoring agents as well as the preservatives. Okay. Then after the food is added with the flavoring agent and it is added on with the preservative, the item is packed up and then it is made available in the market, and from the market it is made available to us. Okay. Yes, Smriti. So many hands are raised. Is it some problem at my point? Am I not audible? If you have any doubt regarding what we are discussing right now, I'll give you time. Okay, 10 minutes before the period gets over, I'll give you time. That time you can just raise your hand and you'll be answered. For now, kindly put your hands down. Okay. Madhvi, Yati, and Anupam. Still 3 hands are raised. Okay. Then The next thing that we are going to discuss, I hope it's very clear to you that what happens in the food processing units. Okay, the first step is addition. First step is the food content. It undergoes various physical and chemical treatments. After that, the additives are added, and finally, the food is packed. Okay, and that is sent to the market. From the market, it is made available to us. Okay, now let's discuss about the additives. Additives, we have discussed that there are two classes of additives. One is the flavoring agent and the other one is the preservatives. Okay, now you are required to take your book and pencil because there are some important things that you need to mark. Okay, now as you know, what are flavoring agents? Flavoring agents are the substances or the chemicals which are added into the food substance to give the special flavor to it. Okay, well, I don't remember which all flavoring agents are added. I just remember the color of Kurkure. Green is available, orange is available, red is available, and I only remember the flavor of green one because I once tasted it and I think it was pudina. Okay, so like this, there are so many different flavoring agents which are added into the food items. Okay, so these flavoring agents can be salt, can be sweeteners. The sugar or sugar substitutes will be added in the sweetener. Citric acid, vinegar, and alcohol. These are the common flavoring agents. Okay. The very common flavoring agent which we use in our house is salt. If something is made, something at home is made, everything is added to it and no salt is added. Do you find any taste in that food? We don't find any taste. Okay. So you see, salt is very, very important flavoring agent. Other than this, sugar. If kheer is made, if sweets are made and no sugar is added to it, will it give any taste? It will not give. So you see, sugar or sugar substitutes are also the flavoring agents. We call them as sweeteners. Okay. Then citric acid. Citric acid and vinegar. These are the other two flavoring agents. With that, alcohol is also commonly used as the flavoring agents. Now here in the next para, it says that nowadays we do not get the crude salt, and why is it that we do not use the crude salt? If you ask to your grandparents, they will tell you that the salt which they were using in their time was the crude salt, khada namak. Have you ever seen it? Maybe some of you have seen it. Okay, so the crude salt which was used years back was the product which was obtained directly from the sea water. Okay, the crude salt obtained from sea water is refined by a chemical process. A small amount of chemical sodium iodide is mixed into it to form iodized table salt. This prevents the diseases like goiter. Okay, this is the reason we are nowadays not using crude salt. Instead of crude salt, we use the refined iodized salt. While discussing about the method of evaporation in the previous chapter which we have discussed in the first semester, you have learned how the seawater gets collected and it is undergoing the process of evaporation. The salt particles are collected, and these salt particles, when it becomes the amount of it becomes more, then it is collected and it is sent to the refineries where the different other salts are separated from the common salt. The common salt is then added on with a chemical called sodium iodide. And when sodium iodate is added to the salt become iodized salt. And this iodized salt is only used by us. The reason why we are supposed to use iodized salt is the crude salt, if it is used up like that, if iodine is not added to it, it may form, it may cause the disease goiter. Okay, goiter is a disease where there is swelling in the area of the neck. All right, and this is because of the deficiency of iodine. All right, due to the deficiency of iodine, goiter may be caused. Therefore, iodized salt is to be taken. So now you might have understood what is the use of the chemical here. The chemical sodium iodate, which is added to the salt, is to make the salt iodized. Please mark this point in your book that sodium iodate is mixed with the salt to make it iodized table salt. The common salt is commonly also called as a table salt. So this can be a reasoning question. Which chemical is added to the salt to make it iodized? So the answer will be sodium iodate. Okay. Then sugar is obtained from sugarcane juice, which is clarified by a chemical method. Clarified by a chemical method means it is made into clear liquid by applying chemical method. Okay, the sugar substitutes or the artificial sweeteners, you might have noticed maybe at your home only, there are some people, those who are diabetic, they do not use the normal sugar which is used by us, isn't it? They use the artificial sweeteners, sugar free. Small tablets are available in small boxes, and these are actually the artificial sweeteners. Okay, so these sugar substitutes or artificial sweeteners like saccharin, aspartame and sucralose, these all are the synthetic chemicals. So you see, the artificial sweeteners which are used by people, it's nothing so important. Why? Because it is artificially synthesized, so definitely it will be chemical. If somebody is using it, they are using the chemical. Okay, it is the artificially synthesized chemical, so it's better not to use it. All right, because directly or indirectly it will definitely be harmful also. Not to a great extent, but still, if somebody is asked to not take sugar and the person is taking this sweetener, definitely it will cause some harm, no? Because the person is taking the chemical. The sugar-free substance is not produced naturally. It is artificially synthesized, so definitely it is undergoing different chemical processes and then only it is made. And the chemicals are added to it. Okay. Then citric acid is obtained from lemon juice. Vinegar is acetic acid, which is mixed with water. Please mark all these things. These all are the chemical names, the chemicals which we use in our day-to-day life as flavoring agent. Citric acid is found in lemon juice. It is obtained from lemon juice. So if we use lemon, it will be a natural product. But if this citric acid, which if we get it from the market, if we don't take the lemon as raw lemon and we get the juice of it, That citric acid, the citric acid which we get from the lemon juice, that is useful. Okay, but if we get it from the market, citric acid bottles, definitely there will be some chemicals present. So which is better one? Which is better flavoring agent? The lemon juice, the content of the lemon which we get natural. Okay, other than this, vinegar. Vinegar is the acetic acid which is mixed with water. This is another flavoring agent. Then alcohol. Alcohol is prepared from molasses. Molasses are the waste from the sugar industry, sugar industry, sorry, where the sugar cane is undergoing certain processes to prepare sugar. Okay, so we get the molasses from sugar industry, and these molasses undergo certain processes, and the process is fermentation. Okay, the certain enzymes are added to these molasses, and it undergoes fermentation, because of which alcohol is produced. Okay, I'll just give you a small example of fermentation. When mother is to prepare dosa or idli at home, she is soaking the content for overnight, then it is grounded, then after again it is left for 5-6 hours, and sometimes she is adding either yeast to it, or maybe sometimes people are adding ENO also. Okay, the baking soda is added. So if you have ever noticed, you may observe that when this content is left for 5-6 hours, there are small bubbles formed in it. Isn't it? Have you ever observed? It looks somewhat like foam. Okay, so that part also we can say that it is getting fermented. The same way, the molasses, when it is acted on by certain enzymes, it undergoes fermentation, and because of that, what is produced? Alcohol is produced, and alcohol is a substance which is used as a flavoring agent. Then moving ahead, the second class of additives is preservatives. What is the work of preservatives? Preservatives improve the keeping property of food. That means it keeps the things better for longer duration. Okay, in other words, we can say that it keeps the food unspoiled for a longer period of time. But we cannot say that it will be working lifelong, because it doesn't have that capacity. Okay, it has a certain limit. Up to that limit only it will be working. Okay, so in preservatives also we have two classes of food preservatives. One is antimicrobe and the second one is antioxidant. Okay, what are antimicrobes? The antimicrobes, they check the growth of the microorganisms, or you can say germs like bacteria and fungi, which may grow in the food. Okay, so the very common preservatives, antimicrobes which are used are sodium benzoate, sulfites and sulfur dioxide, sodium nitrite and sodium nitrate. Now you see in which all food substances, the packaged food substances, these antimicrobes are added. The first one, sodium benzoate. See, the chemical, this chemical is added in jams, pickles, sauce, fizzy drinks like the cold drinks, okay, the soft drinks. So you see a chemical, sodium benzoate, is added to these substances so that it can be kept for longer duration. It can be saved from the microorganisms. If this preservative will not be added, what will happen? The microorganisms will be easily attacking the food content and it will get spoiled. Okay, then sulfites and sulfur dioxide are the antimicrobes for fruits, for preserving the fruits for longer time. Sodium sorbate is added into the cheese, and sodium nitrite and sodium nitrate is added into meat. Okay, so these are the few chemicals which are used as preservatives, and the class of preservatives is antimicrobes. Okay, from the word antimicrobe, it is very clear that it is helping to keep the microbes, the germs, the bacteria, the fungi away from the food item. Okay, and then the second class of preservatives is antioxidants. They check the oxidation of food. What do you understand by oxidation of food? Oxidation of food means the reaction of the food with oxygen. Let me tell you one thing, that oxygen has the capability that it can add on with anything. Okay, so definitely it can add on to the food also. Okay, and from where does this oxygen comes? It comes from our surrounding. It is present in the air. Ascorbic acid, which is commonly called as vitamin C, and sodium ascorbate. These are the two commonly used antioxidants. Please mark it. Two commonly used antioxidants. And these two commonly used oxidants are used to preserve cheese. Okay. Then there is a small thing given regarding the packaging of chips. Let me read that content for you. The food is packed in such a manner that it does not remain in contact with either oxygen or microbes. Air is removed from the package or replaced by nitrogen. Nitrogen is an inactive gas, does not act on food. Have you ever wondered why the packets containing dry eatables like potato chips are swollen? The reason is they are filled with large amount of nitrogen gas. The extra gas also acts as a cushion for preventing breakage. Now this example everybody might have noticed, because nobody from the group can say that I have never eaten chips. When today when I am explaining about it, if I start from the beginning, I'm not moving on how it is packed or what has happened with it. If you have just taken a pack of Lay's, you might have noticed that it is fluffy, isn't it? It is somewhat like cushion. Have you noticed that? If you take a safety pin and pinch it, what will happen? The air which is inside will come out. It won't blast. It won't blast, only the air which is inside will come out. Which is what is present inside that. It's not the complete air, that is mixture of gases, is not present inside the bag. It is only nitrogen gas which is filled inside the packed food item. Now there is a reason why nitrogen is used up there. First of all, let me tell you why air is not present inside. The reason why air is not present inside is air contains oxygen. Okay, and few minutes back I have told you that oxygen has the tendency that it can add on with anything. Okay, so when it will add on with anything, oxidation will take place, because of which there is chance that microorganisms will start acting. Okay, now coming to the nitrogen part. Nitrogen is an inactive gas. You have already learned about it, I think in class 4th only, that oxygen is active gas, nitrogen is an inactive gas. Okay, so this characteristic of nitrogen that it is inactive helps it a lot. Okay, the food pack is filled with nitrogen gas. That means an environment is made inside the packet so that anything from outside cannot come in contact with the food inside. And this is how it is saved. Okay, it is saved from getting spoiled. All right, so you see the nitrogen gas being inactive in nature, it is filled in large amount in the chips packet so that this can be preserved for longer duration of time. And let me tell you that this part which I have explained to you right now can come as a reasoning question. Okay, so please mark this part of the chapter, part of the para, the para which is beginning with finally the food is packed. In that para, the last 3 lines, last 4 lines. Have you ever wondered why packets containing dry eatables like potato chips are swollen? The reason is because they are filled with large amount of nitrogen gas. Okay, there are 2 reasons. Okay, this nitrogen will help in keeping away the microbes and other things to attack the food, and also because of this atmosphere of nitrogen inside the packet will get swollen up and it will prevent breakage of the chips. Okay, when we Shaurya Singh, please have your breakfast after some time. So this swollen packet, because of the atmosphere of nitrogen, is helping, it is preventing from the breakage. Okay, so with this we have completed the food processing part, and I hope it's very clear to you how the food processing units, how the chemistry is applied in food processing units. Well, I can see the time and I don't have time to show you the video, but definitely in the next period, first of all, I'll show you the video of a small video is there. I think 5 minutes video is there. I'll show you that how in the food processing units different food items undergo different physical and chemical treatments, and then it is packed. Okay, I'll take up only one or two questions because time is not left and I have to wind up by 8 o'clock. Okay, so the question will come from Pragyandeep.
Your voice is not coming.
Some network issue at your point maybe, Pragyan. It's raining. Others can hear me. Ayushi, can you hear me? No. Then maybe some network issue at my point. Madhvi, can you hear me? Yes or no? Yes. Divyansh Kumar. Lavanya, can you hear me? Okay, then it is network issue at certain points. That's why you are not able to hear me. Okay, so with this, I will wind up today's class. Your questions will be taken up in the next class. Definitely, after showing you the video, I'll give you 10 minutes for the question time. You can just write down the question in your copy and I'll definitely give you time. But you just need to remind me first. Okay? Okay, Madhvi Mishra will remind me. Yes, Madhvi.
I will remind you.
Yes, I understood from your lips. I've understood what you have spoken.
And the day after yesterday, you have given a homework and to find DDT full form.
Yes, that is the part from this first part, no? DDT.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that we will That also we'll discuss in the next period only, okay? So God bless you all. Be ready for the next class. Whatever you have to eat, kindly eat within half an hour. You have half an hour time. Do not get disturbed and do not disturb others also while the class is going on. Okay? God bless you all.